And then also, Madam Speaker, I want to ask the Minister, the contract and growth, why didn't you get professionals to work on this? And the plan you have, why didn't you share with CAF? Because they are the ones who are supposed to inspect. Where did you get the plan you used for when you did And so I want you to please give us the real representation of business employers. Another issue that CAF was telling you to break, especially in telling you that this is very small. And I don't see that in your report. Or maybe just give us a highlight. Please. We want to get a yes, but we want us to be ready.
Swear in the name of Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. I, Nachimoli Helen, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Naturally, just like you guided, Mr. Speaker, the Minister should therefore go back and make a revision and make a correct report. Yes, in line with that, I also want to draw from Karanga, Mr. Speaker. Karanga is a fishing community, just like many other islands. From June to August, the winds are very, very strong. It is very hard for anybody to survive, even with the members of Parliament who have those very fast boats. The people in Karanga do not fish this time now. That means their boats are up. They don't have food. So the fuel prices in Karanga come from 10,000 to 12,000. It is very hard for a fisherman to go out fishing to waters in next to Kenya or Tanzania. When they go there, they come back with 10 kilograms of fish.
And the normal daily is in around
a kilo, not normal. Fuel, it was 4,500 to 5,000, and now it is 10,000 to 12,000. And yes, and also, Mr. Speaker, the prices of fish have lowered. You can imagine, the price of fuel is high, and the price of fish is low. Before, it was 15,000 a kilogram, minimum. But as we speak now, it is at 9,000, 7,000 to 9,000, compared to the prices of fuel. So I think it is so unfair for people of Karanga, I would say. And as we speak also, if they don't have food, this is a gospel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the committee for the work online. Mr. Speaker, they talked about one country talked about distribution of resources fairly. When we come to payment of the staff or civil servants, Mr. Speaker, Karangara district is an island district. But when you hear everything you hear, Karangara Town Council is in Kampala somewhere. Karangara Town Council members of staff or civil servants are given different allowances as compared to those in the deeper islands. Mr. Speaker, I think it is fair for those in the town council of Karangara to also receive help to meet allowances like the others do. Because it is only those in the deeper island that I think has to wait. This was also favor or worker to down the work. So I think it is unfair. It should be fairly done. And also, Mr. Speaker, speaking about poverty, on page 24, they talked about poverty and insecurity. But the committee did not give us recommendation. I don't know why. But I think one of the recommendations that should be done in the United States, loyalty, work, and faith, to ensure that poor people are reached. You see, when we talk about our good minister here has been to Karangara, Minister Kasoro, and we have helped our citizens as regards to Olunaku. But the microfinance center, the funds will come from there.
Somebody talked about the houses that are constructed, that our people cannot afford to buy, especially those who are working in the businesses. I think if there's an investment policy that should be followed by businesses, things are going to be handled in that way. But a lot of monies are wasted and stolen out into business because of the lack of balance.
one hurry up method of fishing in the silverfish fishing sector. Now, in 2023, we passed a bill, and it was assented to by the President. It is now an act, the Fisheries and Agriculture Act 2023, but we don't have regulations in place. A few months ago, the Minister for Fisheries, Honorable Olunaku, passed a directive that the use of hurry-up method should be stopped because it is illegal and illegal, it is illegal. But it accepted people to use it in 2017. Now, the act that we passed here allows for the fishermen to use a boat of 28 feet only. The minister says we should use a different method of fishing called chora in the fishing language. Mr. Speaker, that is the only parliamentary language I know for fishing. English. Chota, yes. It's called chota. If you allow me, I will. If you allow me, Mr. Speaker.
Just answer the question,
if you allow me, I will bring a definition. So, Madam Prime Minister, I need to understand this because okay. Chota, you are supposed to use a small boat, which is not allowed legally. The other boat that is allowed cannot be used to use chota. Okay. So now there is a confusion on this. The FPU is telling these people not to use the small boats as the law. Yes. But now chota is supposed to be used by these people using small boats. So now can we get some help? My people are confused. They don't know what to do. This fishing going on, so that has been stopped. But now the thing is they say they should not use it. First of all, Madam Speaker, when the report talks about juvenile sales, and like Honorable Minister said, some places don't have to be sales, and these children are put in the same cells as adults. However, when you come to island districts, these probation officers have to transport children from, for example, Marangara, Buvuma, to Nakuru, and Kampilisa. This is very costly for them, yet they are not funded very well. So I think to the community person, I would request you that recommendation that yes. And also, Madam Speaker, when we talk about local councils, the people in charge of children affairs are the secretaries for children affairs. That is the deputy chairperson of a village. This, I think, brings us back to wanting to elect these people into those positions again, and we make them legal such that they help us with this issue of parenting. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to thank the members of the getting all those voices. This is what is going on in the Central Committee of Research and doing their oversight. Yes, yes, Helen. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank my honorable colleague for the elaborate report. Only that a few aspects have been left out. And because this side where I stand is supposed to check you, I am obliged to do so. Madam Speaker, he gave us a good report. Like I said, left out some that I'm going to throw my light on. I want to thank you that you're going to connect all the districts and inclusive of the islands, because our network connection is really bad. Thank you for that, and I believe it is going to happen soon for security purposes. Speaker, allow me to leave this property. Yes. We have very many challenges when it comes to this space. Thank you so much. I'm going to only read the challenges, Madam Speaker, or the emerging issues from his report. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the UN Trade and Development, which is an intergovernmental organization within the United Nations Secretariat that promotes the interests of developing countries in the world, warned about the climate death burden of the low developing countries on Afghanistan. And it also states that it undermines the service delivery, especially when it comes to education and health issues. Their deaths have not only grown, that is the deaths of the low developing countries, but also become costlier and riskier. Between 2011 and 2019, the low developing countries' debt service it tripled to 33 billion US dollars, which represents between 5% and 14% of the value of their exports. The pandemic has exacerbated the situation with LDC, that is the low developing countries, debt repayment set to hit 43 billion US dollars in 2022. Such a burden would jeopardize their COVID-19 recovery efforts and sap the public funds needed to fight poverty and invest in essential infrastructure such as roads and hospitals. Honorable Minister, we are very much aware that Uganda's history when it comes to debt repayment is not as good. And even when we get loans or acquire loans, and this Parliament passes loans, we don't use them accordingly. We mismanage these funds. So I am not sure if this leader or this phase, we are going to use that loan properly. I invite you, honorable colleague, to make sure the ministry uses this money appropriately to best serve the family. There's also an issue of lack of insufficient staff. Now that the ETU has commercialized, this project is very big. It is a very big one. And you have limited staff. I want to know from this side how you are going to this project with limited staff, because it looks huge and it's going to serve the entire nation. Then also there is an issue of retail and solitude. How have you managed to handle to get to phase 5 without solving this issue of retail and solitude? I need for you to give us that information. Then the Honourable Minister, there's a problem here. There's a lack of coordination and linkage with other media institutions. You will find that EWULIRA will have information about a new parliament, and we want to access it elsewhere. We will not get access because there is no interconnection. And he also talked about 300 Wi-Fi hotspots. Madam Speaker, we are aware that we have about 580 Wi-Fi hotspots said to be functioning operation, but they are not, Honourable Minister. I will implore you, Honourable Minister, to get your phone, if you can, and look for my UG. It is one of those networks you say are functioning and operating. I will need for you to allow me to get your phone, access my UG, and see if you will get connected. You will not. And this is supposed to be in the urban centers. It's supposed to, we are saying we have 580 spots that are connected, but it's not working. So now, how are the 300? How sure are we that the 300 are going to work? That are going to be connected and how people get the service required? So I need for you to clarify that. And there's also an issue, Madam Speaker, of they will have to go through the roads. And you will find the road has just been constructed, but now you want to put through a line. When don't you coordinate with the other ministries to see? I mean, there is no coordination between the main Ministry of Works and Transport and ICT. You will find that we are destroying a road. Last time my car got issues because I hit a half that was just put that I wasn't aware of because there was an area. So for me, I think you should work hand in hand. The ministry should be able to work hand in hand such that the people of Uganda get the service provided. Madam Speaker, with that said, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I request the minister to give me the response. The budget should speak to the people. It should represent us. Mr. Speaker, it does not specify or it does not show or include the money to fund fuel for ambulances on the way. We're grateful we got ambulances to help our people on the island, all the islands, by but unfortunately, these have not been funded. We don't have fuel. Our boat cannot consume water, Mr. Speaker, to take somebody from one island to the next or to the speaker. So I don't know what is my thinking about procuring ambulances without fuel. If we're even thinking we should give them to some of us to use them as maybe tourism boats or leisure boats. What are they doing? They're just parked somewhere and they're not helping people. Actually, I think government should rethink about giving island districts hospitals. Because if you buy an ambulance, and this ambulance has to take people from Kalanga to Okello to get a hospital, it means, and you have not given us fuel, it means you should construct hospitals for these island districts so people access health care. And then, Mr. Speaker, Kalanga district is next to Masaka, one of the main roads from Jakarta is a ferry. So that thing is very small for the government to construct a bridge. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about that? Can't we? Mr. Speaker, I need protection from
You're causing yourself trouble.
I apologize, Honorable Santos. Please go back, sit down, look at Kalanga as a business center, as a district that has people that we represent, and give us a bridge. It's just about 4 kilometers. We're tired of dying on the lake as we cross over from there to here. I can't do this. pride activity, so it's unfair to all of us. And I think that is why we even end up with sponsors programs for our people.
How do you know that the models were supported by
Mr. Speaker, I am the voice for the people of Karanga. Mr. Speaker, I beg for your protection. I am the voice of the people of Karanga. And they tell me this, that the fishermen tell me that the condoms are very small inside. And they don't fit them. So, and yet we are fighting HIV. So for me, it is a worry. And then secondly, Mr. Speaker, when we come to the legal issue, you cannot say the legal firm is incompetent, that is being that maybe there is something wrong that is happening in the national legal court. Maybe the higher firm that is incompetent in order to use how does, for example, Parliament have a legal firm that is incompetent? How? So how does the national legal court have incompetent legal firm to handle the cases? What they are doing, this is something we need to look from the Parliament to avoid losses for the government. I think this is it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And I also want to thank the Minister for that report. And let's speak about coming from the island. I know we speak about the island in the population area. Most of our people are not accessible because of the people in the island. And when it comes to education, this one in our island comes in a way that people have to travel from the island to get where these kids are. And they are asked to give them some money. They say, if you cannot access you, give us money such that we can get to where we are. So they say the office has not given them enough money to travel from their office to go to where the people are. And some of us are going to make sure that physical bridge to the market is Thank you so much. And I also want to thank the Minister for being a brilliant man. I want to thank you to the islands and then speaker. On page 418, the local brother National Regulatory Communication and Transport Project. Contribution of speakers about rescue center and rescue boats. Government has prepared boat rescue boats. The rescue center is completed for construction. One in the Omusango in the area of Abaana. The contractor has withdrawn in the example of phase. I would like to welcome the Minister how you are with getting the money contractor to construct the rescue center and so on. And then the next speaker, why do we want to have rescue center? Because one was too operational. Unfortunately, we are not looking at nothing in this place. You one time like the minister about it. We need to find a solution. People want to reach this problem. The solution, Mr. Speaker, is the honorable solution, for us to mark the legal space on Lake Victoria to avoid getting these accidents. Also, Madam Speaker, we need to survey the lake. Lake Victoria was last surveyed in 1955. If we don't do these accidents are going to happen, we shall have the rescue centers and we need to rescue deliveries. So we need to have the rescue centers that also survey the lake to ensure we don't get the accidents. And now we still have the Mr. Speaker. the operations of the base. It is very unfortunate that some of our fishermen the killers were not to the best because unfortunately the foreign operation they have a great hand in it. So when we put that in the recommendation, but I'm also thinking this is relevant during going forward. Because if you ask the people with respect to cooperation and money, it is not fair to them. Because of this discussion, in the political community, talk about saving, but I represent officials from most of them goes to family. They do this kind of thing. They know this kind of thing. Not all of them, but I thought to get an idea of the fishermen being fishing nets. You see, when you look at the families, people, it is also important that we don't leave out the fishermen and women. And we have government to give us fishermen and also even reduce the subsidized when it comes to the efficiency of that usually that they need because I think the money is people of the previous power is about million dollars and fishing nets are very expensive. That's why I saw the way to do the station because the fishing net that's waiting to the country are cheaper than those that are legal. So if you look also we can have government to ensure that the fishermen in the region are also considered from the fishermen planning that we are taking forward. Also, we will improve fishing net as well as also the fishermen are enjoying their thank you so much.
And finally,
finally, I want to commend the committee for the fact that we have to reach area within the presented area. For listening to our cry, especially because we can see the Indian that we are missing one. We need to ensure in the SDP school. As now that we have brought it out, we are grateful and we are hopeful that this school is going to help us. Not only in my Mr. Speaker, but in action. Mr. Speaker, on the 29th of March 2025,
So I
want the minister to explain to us the UPD of uniform. Yes, and also police uniform, Mr. Speaker. It is happening between Mazinga Sub-County, Oleke, Chamuswa, and Bunia. All these islands in Okalana. Mr. Speaker, we all know that we have the activities on the left side, Omusango and the fishing sector. If they can have guns under the lake or the fish, why not secure the people who actually make time to pay them? Thank you so much, Mr.
Stay
you can imagine the price of fuel is high and the price of fish is low. Before, it was 15,000 a kilogram minimum, but as we speak now, it is at 9,000, 7,000 to 9,000, compared to the prices of the fuel. So I think it is so unfair to the people of Kalanga as we speak. And as we speak also, they do not have food. This is a waste of it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm ready to thank the committee for the work well done. Mr. Speaker, they talked about fair. My captain talked about distribution of resources fairly. When we come to payment of the staff or civil servants, Mr. Speaker, Kalanga district is an island district. But when they hear, I think when they hear Kalanga Town Council, they visit in Kampala somewhere. Kalanga Town Council members of staff or civil servants are given different allowances as compared to those in the deeper island. Mr. Speaker, I think it would be fair for those in the Town Council of Kalanga to also receive help to meet allowances like the others do. Because it is only those in the deeper island that we still have to do. This was also further oriented to down and look. So I think it is unfair. It should be fairly done. And this Mr. Speaker is speaking about poverty. On page 24, they talk about poverty and insecurity. But the committee will not give us recommendations. I don't know why. But I think one of the recommendations that should be done, we should reinstate royalty, reward, and funds to ensure that the poor people are reached. You see, when we talk about our good minister here has been to Kalanga, Minister Hassan, and he has taught our people as well as to a younger. But the microfinance center, the funds will get from there.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to thank the committee for the job well done. Madam Speaker, the NSSF does not have a specific policy on investment, especially when it comes to land purchase. That's why you see they just buy land anyhow. Somebody talked about the houses that are constructed that our people cannot afford to buy, especially those who are down there with buildings. I think if there is an investment policy that should be followed by NSSF, things are going to be handled in those ways. But a lot of monies are wasted and stolen by our gentlemen and women. because of lack of policy. I thank you, Madam Speaker. But now the minister is saying they should not use. First of all, Madam Speaker, when the report talks about juvenile cells, and like Honorable Minister said, some places don't have juvenile cells, and these children are put in the same cells with adults. However, when you come to island districts, these probation officers have to transport children from, for example, Karangara, Buvuma, to Nakuru, and Kampinisa. This is very costly for them, yet they are not funded very well. So I think to the committee chairperson, I would request you add that recommendation that yes. And also, Madam Speaker, when we talked about local councils, the people in charge of children affairs are the secretaries for children affairs. That is the deputy chairperson of a village. This, I think, brings us back to wanting to elect these people into those positions again, and we make them legal such that they help us with this issue of parenting. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to thank honorable members after getting both reports. This is what was going to follow the Central Committee on ICT and bring their oversight. Yes, Helen. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I thank my honorable colleague for the elaborate report. Only that a few aspects have been left out, and because this side where I stand is supposed to check you, I am obliged to do so. Madam Speaker, he gave us a good report. Like I said, he left out some that I am going to throw more light on. One, I want to thank you that you're going to connect all the districts and inclusive of the islands, because our network connection is really bad. Thank you for that, and I believe it is going to happen soon for security purposes. Madam Speaker, allow me to leave this verbatim. Yes. We have very many challenges when it comes to this phase. Thank you so much. I'm going to only read the challenges, Madam Speaker, or the emerging issues from this report. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the UN Trade and Development, which is an intergovernmental organization within the United Nations Secretariat that promotes the interests of developing countries in the world trade, warned about the climbing debt burden of the low developing countries, Honorable Minister. And it also states that it undermines the service delivery, especially when it comes to education and health issues. Their debts have not only grown, that is the debts of the low developing countries, but also become costlier and riskier. Between 2011 and 2019, the low developing countries' debt service it tripled to $33 billion, which represents between 5% and 13% of the value of their exports. The pandemic has exacerbated the situation with LDC, that is the low developing countries, debt repayment set to hit $43 billion in 2022. Such a burden will jeopardize their COVID-19 recovery efforts and sap the public funds needed to fight poverty and invest in essential infrastructure such as roads and hospitals. Honorable Minister, we are very much aware that Uganda's history when it comes to debt repayment is not as good. And even when we get loans or acquire loans, and this Parliament passes loans, we don't use them accordingly. We mismanage these funds. So I am not sure if this UDAP or this phase, we are going to use that loan profile.
I invite you, I invite your honorable colleague to make sure the ministry uses this money appropriately to best serve Ugandans. There's also an issue of lack of insufficient staff. Now that the ITU has been rationalized, this project is very big. It is a very big one, and you have limited staff. I want to know from this side how you are going to, I want to know how you're going to handle this project with limited staff, because it looks huge and it's going to serve the entire nation. Then also there's an issue of the confusion between UTEL and Soliton. How have you managed to handle, to get to phase 5 without solving this issue of UTEL and Soliton? I need for you to give us that information. Then, Honorable Minister, there's a problem here. There's lack of coordination and linkage with other regional institutions. You will find that EWULIRA will have information about a member parliament, and when you want to access it elsewhere, you may not get access because there is no interconnection. And you also talked about 300 Wi-Fi hotspots. Madam Speaker, we are aware that we have about 580 Wi-Fi hotspots said to be functioning, operational, but they are not, Honorable Minister. I will implore you, Honorable Minister, to get your phone, if you can, and look for my UG. It is one of those networks you say are functioning and operating. I would need for you to help me get your phone, access my UG, and see if you'll get connected. You will not. And this is supposed to be in the urban centers. It's supposed to, we are saying we have 580 spots that are connected. But it's not working. So now, how are the 300? How sure are we that the 300 are going to work? That are going to be connected and how people get the service required? So I need for you to clarify that. Then, there is also an issue with that speaker of lack of coordination among the different ministries. For example, if the Ministry of ICT wants to, connect the NBR, they will have to dig. They will have to go through the roads. And you will find the road has just been constructed, but now you want to put through a line. Why don't you coordinate with the other ministries to see? I mean, there's no coordination between the maybe Ministry of Works and Transport and ICT. You will find that we are destroying a road. Last time my car got issues because I hit a hump that was just put that I wasn't aware of because there was an NDA. So for me, I think you should work hand in hand. The ministry should be able to work hand in hand such that the people of Uganda get the service required. Madam Speaker, with that said, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I request the Minister to give me the response. Should speak to the people and should be represented. Mr. Speaker, it does not specify or it does not show or include the money to fund fuel for ambulances on the lake. We're grateful we get both ambulances to help our people on the island, all the islands, by the way, but unfortunately, things have not been funded. We don't have fuel. How can we consume water, Mr. Speaker, to take somebody from one island to the next or to people or community street? So I don't know what is your thinking about procuring ambulances without fuel. We were even thinking we should give them to some of us to use them as maybe tourism boats or leisure boats. What are they doing? They're just parked somewhere and they're not helping more people. Actually, I think government should rethink about giving island districts hospitals. Because if you buy an ambulance and It means, and you have not given us fuel, it means you should construct hospitals for these island districts for people to access health care. And then Mr. Speaker, Kalangala district is next to Omusango, one of the main roads from Kakata is a ferry. That thing is very small, I don't know to construct a bridge. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about that? And you, in you, can't we? Mr. Speaker, I need protection from you.
You're putting yourself down.
I apologize, Honorable Sassi. Please go back, sit down, look at Kalangala as a business center, as a district that has people that will represent, and give us a bridge. It is just about 4 kilometers. The child of dying was a lake as we cross over from there to here. I can't miss this. For the very first time in the history of Uganda, for Kalangala to get relief items, because we have never gotten any for this government. Yes, relief items. I represent Kalangala, I know what I'm saying. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And we thank the chairperson for the report. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about limited finance, I think it is unfair to the national medical stores because government is supposed to do this for the country. But if you sort of keep crying and singing this song, it is unfair to all of us. But I think that is why they even end up procuring small size condoms for our people.
How do you know that the condoms were small size?
Mr. Speaker, I am the voice for the people of Kalangala. Mr. Speaker, I beg for your protection. I am the voice for the people of Kalangala. And they tell me this, that the fishermen tell me that the condoms are very small in size. They don't fit them. So, and yet we are fighting HIV. So for me, it is a worry. And then secondly, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the legal issue, you cannot say that the legal firm is incompetent, that is really used. That means there is something big and something wrong that is happening in the National Medical Store. Maybe they hire firms that are incompetent in order to use and be, look stupid. How does, for example, Parliament have a legal firm that is incompetent? How? So how does the National Medical Store have incompetent legal firms to handle their cases? For me, I think this is something we need to look into and investigate as Parliament to avoid losses for the government. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. And I also want to thank the Minister for giving us that report. Madam Speaker, coming from the islands, and allow me to speak about the islands related to the National ID Renewal. Most of our people have not accessed this because because of the distance between the islands. And when it comes to extortion, when it comes to extortion, this one in our islands comes in a way that people have to travel from an island to get where these kids are. And they are asked to give in some money. They say, if we can access you, give us money such that we can get to where we are. So they say the office has not given them enough money to travel from their office to go to where the people are. From one island to the other island. And some is like, you want to make sure that this people reach to the office. Thank you so much, President. And I also want to thank the Minister for giving this report and for being a brilliant man. No wonder it comes from the Islands, Madam Speaker. On page 418, what my brother Oliver Okello talked about, the multinational Lake Victoria Maritime Communication and Transport Project. Communication, Madam Speaker, is about rescue centers and rescue boats. Government has so far bought rescue boats. The rescue centers have not yet been constructed. One in Omusango, in my area of Anambra, the contractor was withdrawn. He was not given a contract because he failed. I would like to know from the Minister how far you are with getting the naval contractor to construct the rescue center in Omusango. And then, Madam Speaker, why do we want to have rescue center? It is because we want to rescue our people from accidents on the road. Unfortunately, they're not looking at marking dangerous spots on the road. One time that I talked to the Minister about it, I did, but nothing has yet been done. We need to find a solution if we want to make this program. So, the solution, Mr. Honorable, Minister, for us to mark the dangerous spots on Lake Victoria to avoid getting these accidents. Also, Madam Speaker, we need to survey the lake. Lake Victoria was last surveyed in 1955. If we don't do these accidents are going to happen, we shall have the rescue centers, they are going to rescue baby bodies. So we need to have the rescue centers and also survey the lake to ensure we don't do the accidents. I want to say this, Madam Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Committee for the very information, especially in the national sector where I come from. And I want to commend you for including fuel for the first time in operations of the lake. It is very unfortunate that some of our fishermen are affiliated or not investors. It is supposed to be given to the FPU prior to operation. They say they don't have enough. So we include that in the recommendation, we are grateful. But I'm also thinking this is global during periods. Because if you ask the people where you're supposed to do operations for money, it is unfair to them. Let us say, Mr. Speaker, in the committee recommendations, talks about siblings, but I present officials community. They don't do, most of them don't do, because in the family, they do it family, and they don't do for not all of them, of course. But I thought, an idea of a fisherman being given a fishing net. You see, when you give the family siblings, it is also important that you do not leave out the fishermen and women. I will have government to look at fishermen, especially here, the fishing nets, and also maybe reduce on the subsidized when it comes to the fishing gears, like the engines that they use, because I need it now, Mr. Speaker, of the tools power is about 9-10 million. development as well. And fishing nets are very expensive. That is why actually we're going to relocation, because the relocation net that is brought into our house are cheaper than those that are needed. So it's really also a local government to ensure that the fishermen in Uganda are also considered, and the fishery fund that we are allocating for also gives them free fishing nets to ensure that also the fishermen are enjoying their life in the country. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
And they tell me that it's gonna heal with time. But I know you're in a place where all your words have been erased. And knowing yours were healed is healing mine. The only stars in heaven, they won't belong to me and you. There'll be no such thing as broken, and all the old will be made new. And the thought that makes me smile now, even as the tears fall down, said the only stars in heaven are all the hands that hold you now. No, the road you walk is anything but easy. You picked up your share of scars along the way, but now you're standing in the sun. And all you thought in your races run, pain is all a million miles away. The only stars in heaven, it won't belong to me and you. There'll be no such thing as broken, and all the old will be made new. And the thought that makes me smile now, even as the tears fall down, said the only stars in heaven.